Hey everyone, so today I'm going down to VivLife 505. I'm going to be checking out some cool bioactive enclosures, checking out some green tree pythons and some other cool reptiles, so stay tuned.
I'm Alex with VivLife 505. We're an up-and-coming flora and fauna specialty store here in Albuquerque. This is my marketing manager, Mike. We have a group of 6 guys that are working on VivLife. We do some pretty cool advanced stuff within the hobby. We have green tree pythons, dart frogs, things that a lot of people think are the hardest animals to keep within the hobby. They kind of stay away from it. But we're kind of showing the people that, it is easy to do, and it is possible to keep these guys in the desert at 5,000 feet here in Albuquerque.
Especially in the desert.
Yes. Tropical is probably one of the biggest things for us to maintain here in Albuquerque. Now, if we were in Florida, Oklahoma, Texas, those places are just always humid. You guys can get away with screen enclosures, but when you're talking about chameleons, they dry up fast as well. So we worked in the pet trade, we worked in the pet stores. We're looking for a way to give back to our reptile community and show them that it doesn't cost $1 million to keep these things, and it also is actually pretty easy if done right.
Another goal is to have an enclosure that's a living piece of art. I know that for me, I've had tanks that from the beginning that are empty, nothing in them, to the level that we're at now, offering not only a fully bioactive enclosure, but something that you want to actually look at and have people look at. And it's even better for the health of the animal. That's the goal number one, is because obviously we're keepers of these amazing creatures, and we want them to live the healthiest lives possible. But if we can get something that looks incredible at the same time, why wouldn't you want that? Between Alex and I and the team, we have years of experience of husbandry and all kinds of crazy creatures, and now we're putting that use to be able to expand and provide it to the community. Not even just Albuquerque by itself, but anywhere in the state. We've got some partners down south in Las Cruces. Shout out to those guys at Cross City. They're incredible. They've helped us out tremendously, and our professional relationship with them has just started. So it's really exciting to see what's going to come out of that. But we're starting to get a little bit of a following, and we're gracious for that because our animals get that much better of a life, and so does everyone else.
Yep. And we're looking to partner with everything, like breeders, pet stores, nurseries, things like that do plants. We're trying to actually bring a big awareness to the hobby that there are things that you could be doing that you're not doing already. Especially like you said with the bioactive, the plants, the isopods, things that are just now starting to get heavy within the like underground reptiles, and all those other places are selling them. But it doesn't need to cost $1 million to do it. And Albuquerque is kind of like the last frontier, I think, when it comes to places that has reptile rescues, things like that we really need to focus on, because there's a lot of people that just get an animal and decide they don't want it anymore, and they think it's going to live out in the wilderness here in the bosque or up in the mountains, and they just let it go. And we've ran across ball pythons that are out in down by the river, and they're going to die the second the winter hits. Especially these guys. Green tree pythons. We have some abronias, Mexican alligator lizards that are endangered, and so we're really trying to hit the conservation of animals as well. You go into a pet store, you have no idea what you're getting into. Pet stores are selling you things to where you come back and keep buying over and over and over again the same thing. With Vivariums or something that all you have to do is trim some plants and you clean some poop. And then the isopods, the springtails, they do all the rest of the work. And so when your kid inevitably decides that he's tired of taking care of the animal, it doesn't take, you don't have to sit there and clean the enclosure, you don't have to sit there and pick up after the snake. You just kind of have to trim some plants to make sure that it doesn't get overgrown or wild in there. So there'll be these things. I have a 7-year-old son. He's autistic, and he's holding green tree pythons and taking care of all the animals as well. And so it's really something with my teaching background that I would love to to bring to our community for kids as well.
Yeah, and I think we appeal to every level of keeper as well. I mean, we have stuff for the young guys. We have stuff for people that are just getting into it. If you have, an already established kind of collection, we can help you out with that. So there's no limit on what we can assist anybody with, as far as, do you need an enclosure? Do you need some assistance, getting the right substrate or plants, or even lighting or something to that effect. We can appeal to anyone and be able to educate them and make their enclosures that much better.
And this is Tegu plants. He likes to eat and chew on anything and everything, or dig it up. But I mean, all you gotta do is just go in and snip off the leaves that you want to snip off. You throw those leaves on the ground, and then your isopods or your bioactive basically turns that into fresh soil. So even the soil you take out of there for spot cleaning gets basically put right back into the ground. If I was to dig in here, you see earthworms and centipedes, and those things cut down on mites. Centipedes and isopods eat mites and mite eggs. So your soil quality goes up with the price of how much you pay, but then it's longevity, so 10 plus years. So if you're looking at 480 times 10, that's almost $5,000 in savings just on soil. If you do it right. Now, you can't just leave it and let it be, but maybe half the time it takes you to maintain a pet store type enclosure versus a vivarium type enclosure. And no offense to Bio Dude, I like what he's doing, I like what Josh's frogs are doing. But if you really want a true vivarium and a good already set in motion vivarium, you can't just get it in the sparseness of what gets shipped to you at your door.
Yeah, it's not a thing of just buying it.
Yeah, and then putting it together, there's a whole process actually, and even getting your dirt, your decomposition started in a vivarium. You can't just pour water in there and then say, all right, it's done. You have to create veins into the soil. You have to make sure your water doesn't disperse everything in there. You have to get your bio balls that are at the bottom to suck down all the nutrients that you've been doing within the tank. So then all your clay balls that you're using at the bottom of your vivarium then come basically soaked up with all the nutrients you need from your carbon, from your decomp, from your silicates, from your ammonias, whatever you're putting in there. Your nitrates, your nitrites, and then your roots go down into that soil, and it takes them years to break apart that clay. And so those bioballs are very important because they're full of the nutrients that you need. And if you just pour water in there, you're not going to have the same results. It's going to be flushed.
That's what separates us from the big stores as well, is the fact that those guys are in a business, so they look at it from a different perspective than we do. They're there for volume. Oh, I can sell X amount of these kits. Cool, I can replace those with another X number. Whereas with us, if we have a specific species, then we're going to build the tank for that, not the other way around. So it's just not a kit that we sell. We can't just mail you something that's ready to go.
It's based on your biomes. Your heat doesn't change in the Amazon rainforest. Your humidity doesn't change unless you go vertical. And so, yes, a green tree python here that comes from Papua New Guinea and the surrounding areas is going to be the same kind of biome as a viper boa who comes from Papua New Guinea and the surrounding areas, but you have different levels of humidity because one's terrestrial, one's arboreal. You're going to have different types of heat because one's arboreal, one's terrestrial. And the viper boas like it cooler and they like to bury it and stuff, but the green trees like it hotter because they're up higher in the treetops. So we basically build off of the biome and the area in which the biome the animal's at.
We're definitely going to meet the customer's needs as far as what kind of expectations they might have, but it's also our job to manage those expectations as well. I mean, especially if it's somebody that's new, coming into the hobby, they might think, oh, I have a snake, give me the biggest thing you got. Well, hang on a second, let's drill this down and figure out what kind of species do you have, what do you want, and then we can go from there. And again, I think that's what separates us from the chain stores and even the local shops.
We want to take care of our customers, which is why we don't call them customers. Each individual person is a client. We're not going to leave them hanging. We'll have a conversation with you on our Facebook page for hours out of the day, just to make sure that everything is going properly for you. If we have an enclosure that we sold to you and for some reason there's a plants are starting to die and you don't know why, we'll come over and take pictures of it. Whatever you need, we'll come and we won't leave you hanging. We're not going to ask you to spend more money on us because something's failing in your system. We're going to ask you to, let us see what's going on first, and then kind of work with you on teaching you how to maintain the system itself.
Awesome snake right there.
That's a perfect shot.
Right?
He's going to ride at it too. Friendly. So this is a Bayak. He is 4.5 years old. Hands out like a branch, kind of let him do his own thing. The way that you move with these guys is like a branch in the wind. They always want to go up. So if you lower, they're going to go up your arm. Twist, you can throw them off balance. And they're not going to strike at you if they're off balance. Very delicate spines, very delicate backbones, so you never want to twist them. They have to twist themselves. So as long as you be the branch, they like it. They don't mind being handled.
Oh, there he is.
He's hanging out.
There you go.
See if I can get a good shot of. There's the hits. He's fine. He's not in striking. He's just. It's green tree, man.
Yeah.
He just said, no, get out of here.
He just said, I don't like a camera in my face. A lot of people think that green tree pythons like to be on a branch like the entire time. I'm going to debunk that theory and say they love little nests. They like to coil up as well. So this guy, she saw her, she's kind of in the back, coiling on the back thing. He'll go up into the top corner. And it gets obnoxious and annoying for anything to kind of be in that crooked pattern all the time. These guys like to be in a nice even coil sometimes as well. So I get away with the paludarium idea because I have ledges and stuff for them to sit on.
And from what I've heard, I think it was actually from Nerd, that especially like after eating, them being on a skinny branch is very uncomfortable.
Yep, and they will go straight to those nests that we've made for them.
There we go. That's a good shot. He's seeing himself. So that's what he's staring
There's
at.
probably some heat coming off that camera too.
Oh,
Yeah.
I guarantee.
Shows the intelligence of these guys though. A ball python's just kind of going around, wants to climb on the camera. This guy's actually looking at himself. He could tell there's another snake there.
Yeah.
Alright, so there we go. Bayak, these are 100%,
Bayaks, yeah,
right?
these are Bayaks.
Bayak green tree pythons, awesome animals. So let's show you how they're set up.
Hello, it's just instant. They even eat slow.
Because Cross City Exotics is the one that hooked us up with these guys.
Yeah, they found them
Okay.
for us. We don't know if they're a sexed pair or not. Obviously, that's the most ideal situation for conservation efforts, but outside of that, they're just cool little dudes.
And have you heard of Cross City?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, Mike down there. So Mike here and then Mike down there.
Yeah, Mike and Lindsay.
Awesome little animals.
Yeah, these guys are great.
The hand feet too. Just dope.
They are. This one has a nice cool teal color.
Hoping they green up. Here, let me put a light on that for you. He said, what's above me?
So there it is. Definitely go check out VivLife. I'll have all their links in the description, Instagram and Facebook. So yeah, again, let me know what you guys think. They do some pretty cool vivariums, and I'm definitely gonna have to collab with them again. Maybe do a build with build a whole bioactive setup, maybe for my toques. We'll discuss it more in the future, but we're definitely going to do some more stuff with them, so that'll be cool. So again, follow them down in the description, and definitely check me out on Facebook and Instagram. Please like, subscribe, and comment, and as always, spread the herps.
So the catfish poop, or the snake poops into the water. Catfish, it's a feeding frenzy. Yeah, I have an eel in there as well.